And now, boys and girls, it's the time we've all been waiting for. It's time to...
All living things grow and move and adapt to the world around them. But is God alive? God listens to our prayers. God speaks to us from our hearts. In some ways, it seems that God is alive in the same way that we are. Does that mean that God can grow and change? Well, it turns out God's not alive in the same way as you or me. God doesn't grow, but God can shrink. Before the beginning of creation, everything was God, everywhere was God, and in fact, there wasn't even room for a universe. Rather than continue to live such a lonely existence, God made a radical decision. God decided to shrink. In Hebrew, we call that tzimtzum. God decided to shrink just a tiny bit in order to make room for the universe and for us. God is everywhere still, but God is not now alone. And whenever we're lonely, we can humble ourselves in the same way that God did. Make room for others who love us in our lives.
Why does the Torah have 5 books?
Five fingers on each hand, 5 toes on each foot, 5 limbs on your body if you count each leg, each arm, and your head. The number 5 is all around us. The Torah tells us 5 different parts of the Jewish story between us and God. Genesis tells us all about who we are and where we came from. Exodus tells the story of our freedom from Egypt, receiving the mitzvot. That is, what God expects from us. The book of Leviticus teaches us how to keep those mitzvot. Numbers tells us the journeys we went through the wilderness and where we ended up. Deuteronomy includes Moses' final teaching explaining why our relationship with God is so important. So that's who, what, how, where, and why.
Why does Hashem have so many different names?
Think about someone like Martin Luther King. He was a minister, and some people called him Reverend. He was a scholar, and some people called him Doctor. To his wife, he was Martin. To his children, he was Dad. To his father, he was Junior. A person can have a lot of different names depending on what they mean to different people. So just imagine God. God is a healer, a teacher, a protector, a helper, a parent, and a ruler.